What's going on, guys? I hope you guys are all doing good today. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Rippin' Lips and Hunting Trips. I'm Jacob, and I know this video is gonna kind of piggyback off my last one, but I wanted to go into a deep dive today talking about the drop shot technique. I talked about it quite a bit in my last video, but I really just want to kind of deep dive and just talk about the drop shot technique because it has been a lifesaver this summer. I mean, the bite here, especially, it's about mid-August now, and it's just been fantastic. So if you guys aren't using this on your inland lakes, wherever you are in the country, definitely give this video a watch because we're going to go over everything that you would really need to know to get started with it. But before we go too far into it, if you guys have never seen one of my videos before, I just want to mention the goal of this channel is to just share my experience and help you guys learn and inspire you guys more to get out in the outdoors, whether it's hunting, fishing, camping. I'm gonna really try and do it all on this channel. So if that sounds like something you're interested, just consider liking, subscribing, commenting, anything that'll help the channel out. I apologize for any background noise in the video. We do have quite a bit of pleasure boaters around this evening, and this is a kind of a stupid lake for me to sit down and do a talking video like this, but I'm used to it, and I'm sure you guys are used to it as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and start off by just breaking down my gear real quick. Now when it comes to rod and reel combos, I really am not a real particular guy. I'm not the type of guy to tell you to use this exact rod and this exact reel. But just for reference, I am using this Fluger, and I literally bought this for a steelhead rod in the spring, and I ended up for the summer throwing it on this. It's a Bass Pro Prodigy walleye. So I'm drop shotting using a walleye rod and a steelhead reel, but it's a 7-foot medium light extra fast action, and then this reel is it's not that big. I don't even know what size it is, to be honest. Just any standard spinning reel, it doesn't even matter. Something preferably with a good drag system, especially if you're gonna be getting into some bigger fish. It is important because I do tend to use lighter leader line, and my leader should be quite a bit longer than it is, but hey, it's been working. So that's all I'm really going to say about rod and reel. Line braid, I think this is going to be 14-pound high-vis braid that has even faded to white. It was like a high-vis yellow white, but now it's faded to a white from being out here in the sun all summer long. And then I'm running this down, like I said, I think it's either 8 or 10-pound fluorocarbon leader down to the hook and to the weight. But I will go over right now how to tie it. All right, so I'm not gonna go too far into depth about knots, but I will tie my leader on using a double uni knot. I have not made any videos on knot tying yet, but if you guys don't know how to tie a double uni knot, it's probably the best line-to-line knot you can tie, and the Great Lakes Fisherman does a great video on how to tie that knot. I'll leave that link in the description. So I'm just gonna get my knot tied here. Alright, so after you got your knots tied, give yourself a little bit of a tag end, but I'm gonna clip these obviously. It's always good just to give yourself a little bit just in case you end up having some slippage or whatnot. So after that, so there's the start of my leader. I'm gonna give myself plenty, I'm talking 3, 4, even my full wingspan probably, so almost probably around 6 foot of leader line, even more. Like, you really can't go wrong. That double uni doesn't leave too much of a rough spot there, so it goes through these eyelets pretty easily. Alright, so I've got the start of my leader line, and I recommend for your hook, which is what you're going to do first, just tying a Palomar knot, the easiest and strongest knot in the bass fishing world, heck, maybe even the whole world, I don't know. But whether you like to, and it sucks because I've got some old line on here, but whether you like to double it up first and go through, or I like to, especially in small hooks, put it through first and then feed it back through that way. I'm assuming most of you already know what a Palomar knot is, but just in case, I don't have a video, but either the Great Lakes Fisherman will or anywhere on YouTube. So I'm gonna tie my Palomar knot, and don't worry if you have done some research into drop shotting. A lot of people talk about which side you should go in from in order to get your hook stand up correctly, but I'm gonna show that trick here just in a second, because it actually comes after you tie your knot. In my opinion, I've never had a problem doing it that way. All right, so like I said, even when you go to tie this, maybe even leave yourself more than this. You probably will. It also depends on, what kind of bottom you have. If you have a rocky bottom, it's not that important to get that hook up that high. So this would be more than enough to just suspend it a little bit over the bottom. But if you're throwing over weeds that are a foot tall, you're gonna want a longer leader, because what this is gonna end up doing is standing up like this. And that weight's gonna be there, and it's gonna allow you to keep your bait suspended at the desired height from the bottom. But for the next step in rigging this, which is weird because it's already doing it by itself, but it is in this technique, it is crucial that when your bait is stood up on bottom like this, that hook is stood up like that. So when the fish go and bites it, you're gonna hook it right into the top of their mouth. But just to ensure that this happens, what you can do is, so I've already tied my Palomar knot, you're just gonna take this tag end now, and from the top, so like it stood up, from the top, you're gonna just run that tag end through the eyelet one more time, and that's gonna ensure that it stays stood up like that at all times. All right, so now we're gonna jump into the weights, and there are two different really main kind of weights you're gonna see. You're gonna see the one that I use most of the time, which is either, and they can be made, the weights, out of either tungsten or lead. I prefer tungsten. Really doesn't matter though. Tungsten is more expensive, it's also denser, so it's just gonna be smaller. But this is a teardrop weight. And it also comes, you can see here, with that, I guess you could almost say tapered little metal loop there. And what that's designed for is so that you don't have to tie a knot. You just run your line through, pull straight up, and it cinches it. Now, I don't like doing this. I've had my weight come off a couple times, and I just don't like doing that. So you can still use this style, but just come from, loop it through and maybe tie yourself just a small little fisherman's knot, even like a 3 twist through the loop and cinch, and then it'll stay on there. And you will have these ones that are just a regular little swivel end that you can just tie a knot right through. So I'm gonna tie that on right now. So I'm just gonna tie this on right now using a fisherman's knot / improved clinch knot. And you really don't even have to do that good of a knot, because when you're fighting the fish or doing anything down there, chances are there is not gonna be a ton of tension on your weights. And so now you are all done tying up that drop shot. We've got plenty of leader line down to this hook, and then just less than a foot under that, we got that weight. So now I will take a minute to just address the plastics you're gonna put on these. So the first bait I'm gonna mention here, which has been fantastic in these inland lakes this summer, has been this, and it's actually branded for walleye, but it is a leech type plastic. It's from Bass Pro Shops, and this is what it looks like. And I'll show a clip of it underwater here for you real quick as well. But it has just been fantastic. They make it in a 5-inch and a 3-inch version. I've been using this 5-inch a lot, but it is a fantastic bait. In these lakes here, there are quite a bit of leeches, especially in these clear, colder, deeper lakes that we have here. And they have been pretty fantastic, I'll tell you that. And they get a great wiggling action. This next one I have, luckily I actually still have it. It was the last one, I went through it earlier. It's the Great Lakes Finesse drop worm. It's a 4-inch drop worm. This thing is great, and this and the leech are really 90% of what I've been using, and really 90% of what you guys would need to use. In terms of worm style, color, go ahead and change it up a bit, based on your water clarity and all your guys' conditions. But I like that leech that gets a lot of action, and I like this that seems to resemble a little more of a minnow, especially when you're throwing it in a more natural color. But this thing is great, and the reason I really like it is because it the plastic is great. It does not rip. That is huge. I've had a few baits here where the plastic just tears after one fish, or even two fish. This has last me 4, 5, 6, maybe even more fish. So I really like that. And I'm not one to get too far into plastics, like, oh, this one. This is good because of that. No, it's plastic at the end of the day. It's soft plastic on a hook. I like this because it lasts longer. I like that leech because it really does get a lot more action than most other drop shot worms. And the third one I am going to mention real quick. It's a Lunker Hunt. There it is. It's called the Lunker Hunt Hive Finesse Wiggler. This is so this is super 3-inch. It's super small. I normally just hook it right through that head right there, but you can see what I'm talking about. I mean, it's a smaller profile, skinnier, but you know, it kind of gets fat. I just thought it'd be cool, and I have caught quite a few fish on him. So if you're just getting started off drop shot fishing, just those 2 or 3 baits I just showed would be a great starting point. So in terms of actually starting to fish with this and what it feels like when a fish picks it up and all that kind of stuff, I do want to run a good bit of footage that I took this morning. It was just kind of like a live walkthrough I did fishing it, talking about what it feels like when they pick it up, how far to throw it out, things like that. So I'm gonna roll some of that right now. All right, folks, good morning. It's nice, well, besides the boat wake that just happened, it's a beautiful morning out here. Very calm, and we are gonna get started with the drop shot here. So all I'm gonna do is toss it out, maybe 20, 30 feet at most. Let it sink all the way to the bottom. I'm only fishing 8 feet of water right now, so it's nothing deep. And just shake it. And that bait is suspended just off the bottom. Maybe pop it, get it a little closer to you, shake. And maybe let it sit. And you can see there's just enough tension in my line to stand that bait up but not move it. And that's, like I said, that's the reason I really like that teardrop style weight, is because it just kind of digs into the bottom a little more than that nail weight. Or not nail weight, but the pencil weight. And after a few shakes, just reel it in and toss it somewhere else. There's our first fish of the morning. He's a little guy, but we will take it. Second cast. Drop shot's deadly. He's not too bad. Nice little guy. And as you guys can see, man, on that hook set. Good grief. You can see where that blood is right on the top of the mouth there. But nice little guy to start off the morning. Let him back there. Let's grab another one. Second cast. I love the drop shot this time of year. Just gonna fix this. Oh, this got all wrapped up here. Gotta love it. Gotta love that crap. It's 6 o'clock in the morning. We're the only 2 people on the lake. a little bit better of a fish. Oh yeah, that's a nice one. At least the mouth looked nice. Man, I have him hooked really weird. I hope he doesn't get off. That's a good fish. I'm just gonna net him just to be safe here. Get in here. Nice. It's a good, I mean, he's skinny, but that length would normally be a 3. That's a good fish for up here in the north. He is rather skinny though, which is why he's only gonna be 2.5. He might be 3, but we'll let him go here and get into another one. But really nice fish there. And you'll know when you have a fish on, you'll feel a thud or a thud. And on the first fish this morning, I actually just watched my line start to go sideways. On this one, same deal. You can just tell that your bait is just gone because it actually takes the weight off your rod. So if you're holding tension here, even if that fish hits it as softly as possible, you're gonna feel it go slack, almost like you're dropping your rod tip. So play around with it. I mean, get the tension on your rod tip like this, like I've got right now, and then drop it. And that is quite a bit of a sensation. So you'll definitely know. It's not hard to tell when a fish picks it up. Oh. Ooh. I lifted him right to that, to be fair. I barely felt him hit. Oh man, this one's feisty. It's a nice fish too. Whew, son. Now that, okay. Stab it. Stab it, stab it, stab it. The only thing about these drop shot rigs is they can get so tangled. But that is the typical hook set right there. And that's exactly what you want. Normally it'll even go all the way through. These things are so good. I mean, I almost need pliers to get them out every time. And maybe that's because I'm a wuss. But, hey, if that's the fish we're catching, me not being able to remove hooks is the least of my concern. It's a good 2.5 pounder right there. All in the span of 20 minutes this morning, I'd be sitting pretty darn good in an inland lake tournament for this lake right now. Man, he's feisty. But he was very light on that bite. And so, but that's where experience is key. I mean, you can't, learning what a bite feels like, I mean, truly, like, I can give you pointers, and other people online can give you pointers, but you're not just gonna master, you know, feeling what a fish picking up a drop shot feels like until you do it yourself. So, no matter what, you have to get out and do this for yourself. A quick recap of everything we covered today. Started off talking about the line, spinning reel. Just for throwing this kind of thing, I like a spinning reel. And a medium light rod. That's what I would recommend. Something you want to be able to feel, and something with a sensitive tip, because you want to be able to feel. I like running braid on it. 14 pound works great. High vis, which is important, because like you saw in one of those clips, sometimes you'll just watch that line. You'll feel them, but it is an extra kind of reassuring thing to watch that line start to go sideways. You know they really picked it up. Down to a 8-pound leader, which is where you want to give yourself plenty of leader line when you're tying on your leader. And from there, we have it down to a 2/0 drop shot hook from Bass Pro Shops, down to a 3/8 of an ounce bell sinker, drop shot weight, whatever you, or teardrop weight, whatever you want to call it. Also from Bass Pro Shops. And those 3 plastics The Hex is what I showed first. Great Lakes dropworm, 4-inch, and then that Bass Pro Walleye Angler leech. Things are fantastic. But anyway, guys, I hope you were able to learn something from today's video. Hopefully I helped you out. If you did, please, like I said earlier, that's the goal of this channel. So if I was able to help you out, consider liking, subscribing, commenting, any of your guys' thoughts. I do love seeing the comments. And I appreciate you guys watching. We'll see you next time. But get out there and fish a drop shot for yourself.